Hello, everybody. So today we are going to continue with APIs. We are going to add more steps to our registration slash lead qualifying bot we've made a couple of videos back. And in the previous video, I've shown you how to use Zapier's API webhooks to write data into Google Sheets. Today, we are going to use the same API Zapier webhooks so that after a successful writing into Google Sheets, we will then notify them via email. So the first update we need to do is ask for the email and store that email into a variable because when we made the chatbot a couple of videos back, the link in the description if you haven't seen that, we've skipped asking for the email. So let's disconnect our API we did last time and let's just move this around. There we go. And then add another question. So we ask for first name, last name, and then after this, let's add another block. Let's call this user underscore information underscore email. Let's add a text saying, please enter your email. And then let's capture that. Listen and then capture. And then instead of last utterance, let's create a new variable. Let's call this variable user underscore email description. This is the user's email. Create that variable. And that's pretty much it. We now need to reconnect this back to our API. So collect the first name, last name, then ask for their email. After that, we will write those data into our Google Sheet. And remember, this API step we've created in a previous video only sends the first name and the last name. So we now need to modify or add another variable here to send to Zapier called email. And then the variable we just made right now, you call user underscore email. And quickly, we're inside Google Sheets, the one we've made in the previous video where we store data. And we just need to make sure we have a new header for a new column where we're going to store the email. The header is just the first row. So let's just call this email. And that's done. And because we're adding a new parameter, remember the Zap we created in a previous video only stores the first name and last name into our Google Sheet. So we need to modify that as well. So we're here on our Google Sheet demo Zap. Let's click on Google Sheet right here and go to Actions. Because we're forwarding an email, we now see an email box here. Remember, this wasn't here before. Again, reminder, this will populate with all the data you forwarded. So for the email, let's select the email, and that should be it. So same as last time, we're going to create a new Zap. So let's hit create and select Zap. Then for the trigger, we are going to still use our webhooks. The event would be catch hook. Then we can leave the trigger blank. And then for the action, instead of Google Sheets last time, let's use email. Now, I'm just going to use Gmail, but if we type email right here, you will see that there are a lot of options. And that's just the email keyword. If I say, for example, Outlook, if you're using Outlook, it's there. There's a lot of email options, but today I'm just going to use Gmails to keep it simple. There we go. For the event, what we want to happen would be to send an email. So select send an email. And then if we go to our account, I've already linked my Gmail. If you don't have this, you're going to see a blue button here saying connect or log into your Google account. And for the action, this is pretty much your email setup. As you can see, we have the recipients right here, your carbon copy options, from the sender, you have the subject and the body type. For the body type, you can actually choose between just plain text email, or if you want, you have the option to use HTML as well. Signature and even attachments. So before we set up this email, let's go back to our webhook right here, and we're on the test tab. Again, this is a similar process to our Google Sheets. It will be the same process for Zapier Webhooks every time. So what we need here is our URL. So let's copy this one. Let's go back to Voiceflow. So where we want to insert this one is after a successful data write into Google Sheets. So let's disconnect this final messages first. There we go. Let's move this here for a sec. So if the writing is successful, let's add another API. Let's call this send email, send notification email to user. And then let's click on the details here. And then instead of get, again, we're sending information. So we need to select post instead. And let's paste the URL here from Zapier. So we already have our Google Sheets set up. So we can skip all this and go to body. And we can just forward the email address. Let's call variable email, and then let's forward the user underscore email variable we created. Let's reconnect our confirmation messages here. If it's success, let's do the congratulations. If it's a fail, let's do our error message. And that's the changes done. We need to test this before we can go back to Zapier. Let's not start from the beginning just yet. Let's start from here. So first name, let's do James. Last name, let's do Ellis. And then for the email, let's enter a valid email address so we can check. So there we go. Both API calls has been successful. So now we can go back to Zapier. Back in Zapier, let's click on our webhooks, and on the test tab, let's click test trigger. Let's see if the data forwarding is successful. There we go. We have the email right here. And then let's set up the email. So for the recipient, let's choose the email address we've received from Voiceflow. If there's more than one, you can do that as well. CC, BCC, we don't need to do that. From, obviously, let's use the account we've linked. From name, basically the name that will appear on the sender as a name. So let's just use Triple A's fitness, then reply to, we didn't need that one, and then subject, fitness program registration successful. Let's add a welcome. There we go. For our body, let's just do something simple. Congratulations, you are now successfully registered to our fitness program. In signature label, we can leave those blank. We don't have attachments, so all we need now is to click continue, check that the parameters you've chosen are correct, and we can test this one. There you go. The email was sent, so the test is successful. That completes our setup. So we're back here on Voiceflow. Let's do one full run of this one from the very top so we can check the entire flow and the results. Welcome to Triple Lanes. How can I help you today? I want to join the fitness program. What state are you from? One of the qualifying states would be Denver. How old are you? We need to be 30 and above. Let's do 36. And we need to be a beginner to qualify, so let's select yes. There we go, we qualified. We need now to enter our details. Let's do Matthew. Last name, let's do Reynolds. Email address, I'm going to use a personal one so you can check the results. A real email. gmail.com. There you go. Both of our API calls have been successful. We got our confirmation messages right here. And we're inside our Google Sheet. As you can see, the new data has been added. And if we go to our email, so here we go. We got the email. The name, Triple A's Fitness, and then our subject line is successful. If we open this email, We have the content right here. Congratulations, you're now successfully registered to our fitness program. And that's our setup complete. We are going to continue to expand this bot we've created with more features. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.